The big meeting room was full of worried voices. 47 different types of aliens sat in their special chairs, all talking at once. The room was huge, with lights that looked like small suns hanging from the ceiling. It was the most important place in the galaxy where all the big decisions were made. Ambassador Zethkar stood up slowly. His body was made of what looked like blue crystal, and when he moved it made soft ringing sounds. He was from a planet where everyone looked like living diamonds. He hit his desk 3 times with his hand, and the room became quiet. "Friends, from all worlds," he said in his strange musical voice. "We have a big problem. The humans have been with us for only 50 years, but they keep growing bigger and stronger. They will not stop." Jake Morrison sat in the human section of the room. He was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. Next to him sat Dr. Lisa Parker, a smart woman who studied aliens for a living. On his other side was Admiral Ryan Carter, the leader of Earth's Space Navy. His uniform was dark blue with gold buttons. Jake looked calm, but inside he was worried. He had been waiting for this day for a long time. The other aliens had been watching humans too closely, and now they were scared. A tall, bug-like creature stood up. His name was Hive Speaker Zyth, and he came from a world where giant insects ruled. His voice sounded like angry bees when he talked. "The humans have built homes on 17 different star systems," he said, waving his 4 arms. "These were supposed to be empty spaces between our worlds. They said they would not go there, but they did anyway." "That is right," said another alien. This one lived in water and had to wear a special suit to breathe air. Her voice came through a machine that made it sound normal. "Also, their warships are getting too strong. Our spies tell us they have weapons as good as ours, maybe better." More aliens started talking at once. They all sounded scared and angry. Some said humans were dangerous. Others said they should be stopped before they got too strong. Jake finally stood up. The room became quiet again. Everyone looked at him. He was not very tall compared to some of the aliens, but something about him made others listen. "Friends," he said in a calm voice, "humans have never broken any deal we made with you. Every new home we built was an empty space. We asked permission, first just like the rules say." Ambassador Zethkar made an angry sound. His crystal body flashed brighter. "We are not worried about what you did. We are worried about what you might do. You humans grow too fast. You learn too much, you make too many babies and build too many ships." The room was very quiet now. Dr. Parker looked worried. She knew what was coming next. "The Council has voted," Zethkar continued. "We will put limits on humanity. You cannot build any more homes on new worlds. You cannot make any more big ships. Our peacekeepers will watch you to make sure you obey." This was very bad news. When the Council put limits on a race, it meant they thought that race was too dangerous to be free. It was like putting someone in jail before they did anything wrong. Admiral Carter leaned forward. His voice was quiet but strong. "And what happens if we say no?" "Then we will make you say yes," Zethkar replied. His crystal body was now glowing, bright blue. "The vote is finished. All 46 other races agreed. You humans will stay in the space you have now. You will not grow any bigger." Jake looked around the room. He saw fear in the eyes of creatures from dozens of worlds. They were all afraid of what humans might become. But they did not understand what humans already were. "I see," Jake said slowly. He stood up, and Dr. Parker and Admiral Carter stood with him. "Then I think we are done here." He started to walk toward the door, but then he stopped and turned around. "Oh, Ambassador Zethkar, you might want to check your information about humans again. What you think you know about us is not even close to the truth." As the 3 humans walked out of the Great Hall, whispers followed them. Some aliens looked confused. Others looked more worried than before. What did the human mean? What did they not know? Outside the meeting room, Dr. Parker spoke first. "Jake, they really did it. They voted to cage us like animals." "I know," Jake replied. "But they made a big mistake. They think they know how strong we are. They think they can control us." Admiral Carter smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Should I send the message to Earth? Yes, Jake said. Tell them the Council has declared humans too dangerous to be free. Tell them it is time to show our new friends what dangerous really looks like. As their ship left the Council station, none of the aliens watching knew that everything was about to change. They thought they were protecting the galaxy from a young, growing race. They did not know they had just woken up something that had been sleeping for 50 years. The humans had been peaceful because they chose to be peaceful. But choice could be taken away. And when it was, the galaxy would learn that the most dangerous thing about humans was not their weapons or their ships, it was their patience. For 50 years they had been patient. They had followed the rules, made friends, and played nice. But patience, like all human traits, had limits, and those limits had just been reached. 2 weeks passed after the big meeting. The galaxy was getting ready for war, but only one side knew it. Admiral Thexelon stood on the bridge of his giant warship called Cosmic Harmony. He was tall and thin, with purple skin and 3 eyes. Around his ship floated the biggest space navy anyone had ever seen. 2,000 ships filled the dark space. They came from 12 different worlds. Some ships looked like metal fish. Others were round like balls. A few were long and thin like needles, but they all had one thing in common. They were here to stop the humans. Show me the files about human ships, Thexelon said to his helper, Lieutenant Commander Veltar. Veltar was young and had green skin with spots. He was excited about his first big battle. Yes, sir, Veltar said, bringing up pictures on the big screen. The humans have about 300 ships total. Most are small. They only learned to fly between stars 50 years ago. This should be easy. Thexelon looked at the pictures and smiled. The human ships looked simple and weak. Baby race with baby toys, he said. We will be done before lunch. But far away on Earth's moon, Admiral Ryan Carter was not worried. He stood in a big room full of computers and screens. The room was called Luna Base, and it was where Earth's military made all their big decisions. Pictures of the alien fleet. Covered the walls, sir, said Captain Ben Rodriguez, a young man with dark hair and serious eyes. The alien ships have reached our border. They want all our people to come back to Earth right now. Carter nodded slowly. He had been waiting for this moment for years. Tell all our colonies to start Protocol 7. And Ben, wake up the reserve fleet. All of it, sir? Ben asked, his eyes getting wide. Every single ship, Carter said with a small smile. It is time our new friends learned what humans really are. Ben ran to send the message. Protocol 7 was a code that meant, get ready to fight. But the reserve fleet was something else. It was humanity's biggest secret. 3 days later, Admiral Thexelon was not smiling anymore. His 3 eyes stared at the screens in front of him, and he could not believe what he was seeing. The numbers kept getting bigger and bigger. This cannot be right, he said, his voice shaking. Check the sensors again. His sensor officer was a young bug woman named Buzz Singer Kett. Her big round eyes looked scared as she worked at her computer. Sir, I have checked 5 times. The readings are correct. I count over 1,500 human ships across 7 star systems. Impossible, Thexelon shouted. Our spies said they only had 300 ships total. Sir, Kett said quietly, some of these ships are giving off energy readings I have never seen before. The computers cannot even identify what kind of weapons they have. Thexelon felt his heart beating fast. He had brought 2,000 ships to fight 300. But now it looked like the humans had more ships than he did, and their ships were different, stranger, maybe stronger. Get me a direct line to the Galactic Council, he ordered. I think we made a very big mistake. On Earth, Jake Morrison sat in his office reading reports from all over human space. The reports all said the same thing. The aliens were surprised. They had expected to find scared humans running away. Instead, they found something they never imagined. Dr. Lisa Parker walked into his office. She looked tired but happy. Jake, the alien fleets have stopped moving. They are just sitting there, not sure what to do. Good, Jake said. How many ships do we have active now? About 2,000 so far, Lisa replied. And we are still waking up more. The aliens thought our colony ships and patrol boats were our whole navy. They never saw our real military. Jake stood up and walked to the window. Outside he could see Earth's blue oceans and white clouds. It looked peaceful, but he knew that all around the planet, in hidden bases and secret shipyards, humanity's true power was stirring. "You know what the funny thing is?" Jake said. "We never wanted to hide our strength, we just never needed to use it. We built all these ships and weapons because that is what humans do. We prepare for problems before they happen." Lisa nodded. "The aliens think we are like them. They think we only build what we need right now. They do not understand that humans always plan for the worst." "Well," Jake said, "now they are about to learn. Send a message to all our commanders. Tell them to show the aliens just enough to make them think twice. But not everything. Not yet." Across human space, captains received their orders. Hidden ships began to appear on alien sensors. Weapons that had never been fired powered up for the first time. Defenses that had been secret for decades came online. The aliens had come to put humanity in a cage, but they were about to discover that they had poked a sleeping giant. And when giants wake up, the whole galaxy shakes. Captain Sam Davis stood on the bridge of his ship, USS Liberty. It was a small warship, only 300 meters long. Around him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. They all knew what was about to happen. The alien fleet was coming, and the Liberty was going to meet them alone. "Captain," said his communications officer, "I have the alien admiral on the radio." "Put him through," Sam said. Admiral Thexlon's face appeared on the screen. His purple skin looked angry, and his 3 eyes were narrow. "Human ship, you will surrender now. You are one small vessel against my entire fleet. Do not be stupid." Sam smiled. He was a young man with brown hair and calm blue eyes. "Admiral Thexlon, this is Captain Sam Davis of the Terran Federation Navy. You are in human space without permission. Turn around and go home." Thexlon laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "One ship. You send one tiny ship to fight 2,000. Human stupidity knows no limits." "We will see," Sam said quietly. Around the Liberty, space was empty except for the alien fleet. The council ships moved in like hungry sharks. They were big and scary, with weapons that could destroy planets. The Liberty looked like a small fish, surrounded by whales. But looks can lie. "Weapons ready, Captain," reported his weapons officer, Lieutenant Amy Cole. "Fire," Sam said. What happened next made Admiral Thexlon's 3 eyes open very wide. The Liberty's weapons were not like anything the aliens had ever seen. Beams of pure energy shot out, but they did not try to destroy the alien ships. Instead, they hit exactly the right spots to turn off their weapons and shields. In less than 2 minutes, 3 big council warships were floating helpless in space. Their weapons were dead. Their shields were gone. But they were not destroyed. The humans had taken them apart piece by piece with surgical precision. "How?" Thexlon whispered, staring at his screens. "Our shields should have stopped those weapons easily." Sam's voice came over the radio, calm and friendly. "Admiral, we have been studying your technology for 50 years. Every time we met for peace talks, every time we traded goods, every time we had dinner together, we were learning. Did you think we were not paying attention? But the real shock was yet to come." All around the Liberty, space began to shimmer and twist. One by one, more human ships appeared. They had been there the whole time, hidden by technology the aliens could not detect. Captain Lisa Wong appeared on Thexlon's screen. She was the commander of a big human cruiser called New Horizon. "Admiral, this is your only warning. Leave human space now or see what happens when you make humans angry." The same thing was happening all over the galaxy. Wherever alien fleets had gone to capture human colonies, they found surprises waiting for them. Human ships appeared from behind moons, from inside gas clouds, even from the burning surface of stars where no ship should be able to hide. Admiral Carter's voice reached every alien ship at the same time. It came through their radios, their computers, even their emergency systems. The humans had somehow taken control of everything. "To the Galactic Council fleet," Carter said, his voice strong and clear. "Humanity never wanted to fight anyone. We joined your council in peace. We followed your laws. We were good neighbors. But we will not be treated like criminals for the crime of being successful. The message continued, and even the bravest alien warriors felt afraid. You have made a terrible mistake. What you see right now is less than 10% of our real military power. We have ships you cannot see, weapons you cannot imagine, and defenses you cannot break. This is your chance to leave with honor. On his flagship, Admiral Thexalon stared at his tactical screens. Hundreds of human ships had appeared all around his fleet. His spy reports had been wrong by a huge amount. The humans had not been hiding their strength out of fear or sneakiness. They had been holding back because they were peaceful. Sir, his communications officer said with a shaking voice, the humans are not attacking. They are just waiting. Thexalon looked at the human ships surrounding his fleet. They could have destroyed every alien vessel in minutes. But they were not shooting. They were giving the aliens a chance to leave alive. Sir, Buzz Singer Ket called from her sensor station, I am reading massive energy buildups on the human ships. If they wanted to destroy us, they could do it right now. Why are they not attacking? Thexalon asked. Captain Sam Davis answered him over the radio. Because, Admiral, we are not monsters. We did not build these weapons to conquer anyone. We built them to protect ourselves. And right now we are protecting you from making the biggest mistake of your life. I do not understand, Thexalon said. You came here thinking we were weak, Sam explained. You thought you could push us around because we are new to space travel. But you forgot something important. Humans have been preparing for war for thousands of years. We just never wanted to have one. All across the galaxy, alien commanders were learning the same lesson. The humans were not cruel conquerors. They were patient guardians who had been pushed too far. They had the power to destroy every alien fleet, but they chose to simply disable them instead. Admiral Carter's final message rang through space. Council Fleet, you have seen what happens when you threaten human families and human homes. Now you have a choice. You can retreat and tell your leaders that humanity is not your enemy. Or you can stay and find out why every species in the galaxy should be very glad that humans prefer peace to war. The message was clear. The humans were stronger than anyone had imagined, but they were also more merciful than anyone deserved. The Galactic Council meeting room was full of chaos. Aliens from 47 different worlds were shouting at each other. Some were angry, some were scared. All of them were confused. Admiral Thexalon's fleet had come back home with their tails between their legs, and nobody knew what to do next. Ambassador Zethkar stood at his podium, his crystal body dim and gray. He looked sick. In his hands were reports from the battle, and every page made him feel worse. 47 alien ships had been destroyed or damaged. Thousands of his people were hurt or dead, and not one human ship had even been scratched. Explain this to me, he said to his military advisors. His voice was quiet and tired. How did a race that learned to fly in space only 50 years ago beat our best fleet without breaking a sweat? A dark shadow moved near the back of the room. It was Intelligence Director Morden from the Umbral Collective. His people were like living darkness, and they usually stayed hidden. But this crisis was too big to hide from. Honored Council, Morden whispered, his voice coming from everywhere, and nowhere at once. I have spent 3 days studying everything we know about humans. The truth is worse than we thought. Pictures appeared in the air above the council floor. They showed human colonies, human ships, and human activities all across the galaxy. We have been watching the wrong things. We counted their ships and looked at their budgets, but we missed the important signs. The pictures changed to show maps of human space. Look at where they built their homes. Every human colony is near something important. Rare metals, energy sources, or places where space roads meet. They did not take these places to use them. They took them to control them. More pictures appeared showing human trading posts and research stations. They put their people everywhere. Every major space route has humans watching it. Every important planet has human friends living on it. They have been preparing for this day for 50 years. Suddenly, the lights in the room changed. The air shimmered, and 3 human shapes appeared in the middle of the council floor. They were not really there, but their images were so clear they looked real. "Hello, council members," said Dr. Lisa Parker with a smile. "I hope you do not mind us dropping in. We thought it was time for an honest talk." The aliens jumped up from their seats. Some reached for weapons, others tried to run. But the humans just stood there, calm and peaceful. "How are you here?" Ambassador Zethkar demanded. "This is our secure building. Dr. Patricia Wells wanted to explain a few things to you," Lisa said, ignoring his question. A second human woman appeared. She was older with gray hair and kind eyes, but when she spoke, her words made the aliens feel cold. "Greetings, Council. I am Dr. Patricia Wells, and I develop new technology for humanity. I understand you are confused about what happened to your fleet. Let me clear things up." The room became very quiet. Every alien was listening. "First, what you saw was not our real military. The ships that beat your fleet were training vessels with new graduates from our space academy. Our real warships never left their bases." Shocked sounds came from all over the room. If those were training ships, what did the real ones look like? Second, the weapons that stopped your fleet were set to their lowest power. We have energy beams that can crack planets open. We have bombs that can turn gas giant planets into new suns. We have machines that can make black holes wherever we want them. The council members sat in their chairs like statues. They could not believe what they were hearing. But most important of all, Dr. Wells continued, "You do not understand what humans really are. We did not build these weapons to attack other people. We built them because humans always prepare for the worst possible thing that could happen." Jake Morrison stepped forward in the hologram. "The question you should be asking is not whether humans are too strong to control. The question is whether you want us as friends, or if you want to find out what happens when you make enemies of people who think the end of the world is just another problem to solve." "What do you want from us?" Ambassador Zethkar asked. His voice was small and scared. "We want what we have always wanted," Jake replied. "To be left alone to live our lives in peace, to explore new worlds and make new friends, to trade with our neighbors and learn from each other." "But now you have seen our strength," Dr. Wells added. "So you have a choice. You can work with us as equals, or you can keep trying to control us. But if you choose to fight us, remember this. We have been preparing for war since before we could fly in space, and we are very, very good at it." Admiral Ryan Carter appeared, next to the other humans. "We did not want this, Council. We came to you in peace 50 years ago. We followed your laws, respected your customs, and tried to be good members of your community. But you decided we were too dangerous to be free." His voice became harder. "You are right about one thing. We are dangerous, but not to people who leave us alone. We are only dangerous to those who try to hurt us or our friends." The hologram began to fade, but Jake had one more thing to say. "Think carefully about what happens next, Council, because after today there is no going back. You have seen what we can do when we are being gentle. Do not make us show you what we can do when we are not." The humans disappeared, leaving the council in silence. They had learned something terrible and wonderful. Humanity was not just strong. They were so strong that they could destroy the entire galaxy if they wanted to. But they chose not to. They chose to be peaceful. The question now was whether the council would be wise enough to accept this gift. 1 month had passed since the great battle that was not really a battle. The Galactic Council was falling apart. 3 alien races had already left, saying they did not want to be part of a group that could make such big mistakes. 5 other races wanted to attack humanity right away. The rest could not decide what to do. In the deep space between the Council worlds and human territory, a single ship waited. It was unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. The ship seemed to bend, light around it, making it hard to look at directly. It was powered by energy that the best alien scientists could not understand. Admiral Ryan Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Endeavour, humanity's newest and most advanced ship. Behind him, the best diplomats and negotiators that Earth could find were getting ready for the most important meeting in galactic history. "Sir," said Commander Beth Allen, a young woman with red hair and bright green eyes. I can see the Council fleet approaching. There are a lot of them. On the main screen, over 100 alien ships appeared. They came from dozens of different worlds representing every major power in the galaxy. At the front was Ambassador Zethkar's personal ship, surrounded by the biggest and strongest warships the aliens had. "Open a channel," Carter ordered. Ambassador Zethkar's face appeared on the screen. He looked older and more tired than before. The arrogance was gone from his voice, replaced by something that might have been respect. "Admiral Carter," he said, slowly, "your ship is not what we expected." Carter smiled a little. "Ambassador, I think we have proven that your expectations about humans have been wrong from the start. Shall we talk?" The negotiations took place on a neutral space station that floated between the two fleets. Ambassador Helen Wright led the human team. She was a woman who had spent her whole life learning about alien cultures and how to talk to them. "The real problem," Helen explained to the alien delegates, "is that both sides have been wrong about each other. You thought humans were just another young race that you could manage and control. We thought the Council was a wise group that welcomed new friends as equals." The bug-like alien hive speaker Zeth clicked his mandibles nervously. "Your people are much stronger than anything we have seen before. How do we know you will not use this strength to rule over us?" Dr. Patricia Wells, now serving as humanity's chief science advisor, answered the question directly. "Because ruling over other people takes too much time and energy. We would rather spend that time exploring new worlds and building new things. Look at our history," she continued. "We could have taken any worlds we wanted, but we chose empty systems instead. We could have built a giant military from the start, but we only built enough to protect ourselves. We could have demanded tribute from weaker races, but we offered fair trade instead." The water-breathing Delphinian representative spoke through her translation machine. "But your military power threatens the balance that has kept peace in the galaxy for thousands of years." Admiral Carter leaned forward. "The balance was never real. You kept peace because everyone was equally weak, not because anyone was strong enough to protect it. Humanity offers something different: peace through strength, and the promise that anyone who attacks innocent people will face consequences." The breakthrough came when Ambassador Wright suggested something completely new. She called it the Galactic Defense Compact. Under this agreement, humanity would promise to protect any Council species from serious threats. In return, the aliens would allow humans to expand freely and trade openly. "Think of it as insurance," Wright explained. "You have all seen what happens when someone threatens human interests. Now imagine that same protection covering your homeworlds, your colonies, and your people." The Andromedian representative, Admiral Culves, asked the question everyone was thinking. What stops humanity from eventually using that power against us? Captain Sam Davis, the hero who had faced down the Council fleet at Centauri, gave a simple answer. "Because we have had that power for decades already. If we wanted to conquer the galaxy, we would have done it long before we joined the Council. We are here because we believe different races working together is better than fighting each other." The talks went on for 3 days. Slowly, agreements were reached. The aliens would stop trying to limit human expansion. Humans would share some of their defensive technology. Trade would be free and fair between all species. Most importantly, humanity would protect any Council member that faced a real threat to their survival. The final ceremony took place on the human ship, in a room that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. Representatives from all species signed the new agreement using pens made of crystallized starlight. As the last signature was recorded, Ambassador Zethkar spoke to the assembled delegates. "Today we do not end the Galactic Council. Instead, we make it into something stronger and better. We welcome humanity not as children to be watched, but as the guardians of galactic civilization." Admiral Carter's response would be remembered for generations across the galaxy. "We accept that responsibility. But remember, we did not ask for this job and we will not abuse it. Humanity's strength exists to protect the weak and keep the peace. That is not a threat, friends. That is a promise." As the fleets spread out and returned to their home worlds, News of the agreement traveled across the galaxy faster than light. A new age had begun. Humanity had become the unofficial protectors of galactic civilization, not through conquest or fear, but by proving they were too strong to fight and too wise to need fighting. In the months that followed, applications to join the Council increased by hundreds of %. Dozens of species that had been hiding from galactic politics suddenly wanted the protection of the new alliance. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous species are the ones that choose to be peaceful. And sometimes, when you try to cage something too mighty to control, you discover that it never wanted to control anything in the first place. Humanity had not sought to rule the stars, but by showing they could not be ruled by others, they had become the rulers of their own destiny and the protectors of everyone else's freedom. The galaxy was safer now, not because humans were weak, but because they were strong enough to be gentle,